When the police tried to stop filming with the Anti-Terrorism Act, this citizen did not stay silent. He fought back with the law, with reason, and did not let his civil rights be trampled.
But we're asking you why. I mean, we've got powers under the Terrorist Act.
What, section 43?
To search you.
And if you use section 43, okay, it will be unlawful for one.
For why?
Okay,
Why is
because
that?
it's my lawful right. And if you actually read the actual memo that got sent by the IOPCC, back in 2020, right, it will actually state that people can actually film a police station, okay, police staff, police vehicles, okay, and section 43 should not be used, okay, in that actual event.
What about that?
Okay.
What if we see you filming outside a police station?
Okay. Well then let me put it to you this way. I'll put it very bluntly. Okay. If you believe, okay, that it is, okay, then if you contact the counter-terrorism
squad.
We haven't got
time for that.
Well, no. If you believe that, well, I'm just standing here.
Right.
Okay. If you believe that, okay, then you contact them.
Well, no.
Okay. But
so
also as well, what are your reasonable grounds? What are your reasonable grounds?
So you've waited for a van to come out. How do I know you're not going to run in when you're filming a police station? What for?
A female police officer is seen acting arrogantly, trying to control what the people have the right to do. But the man in the video does not stay silent. He argues every sentence, cites every law, and repeats one thing: I have the right to film. The story is not about the camera. It is about civil rights, about transparency, and about who is really overstepping their authority.
Big balls there. These are the two. I thought that they could swing their balls a little bit. So.
Alright.
I'm good, thank you.
What are you filming for?
Pardon?
What are you filming for?
For my own purpose.
What purpose is that?
My own.
Pardon?
My own.
Right, okay. I'll come out and speak.
Do I need a purpose to film?
What?
Do I need a purpose to film?
Well, normally you do.
No, I don't.
Let the van get out.
Well, first of all, could you identify yourself?
Show the numbers there. 1171 NA.
If you could actually say what the numbers are, please. Not everyone can actually read them.
1171 NA. No
Thank
worries.
you.
So what's the purpose of filming today?
For my own purpose.
Yeah, what's the purpose?
My own purpose.
Just what's the purpose? then?
Because I want to film.
Okay. Obviously, when we see people filming outside, we get a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Because there's terrorism, things like that.
Okay, so
That's
you're calling
why we
me a
asked.
terrorist?
I'm asking your purpose.
Okay. Well then, can you tell me then the last time when a police station was actually hit by a terrorist?
Well, that's not the point.
Okay.
Is it?
Yes, it is the point, because it's predominantly, okay, it will be the public that will get hit by a terrorist, not the police.
I think that's incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect. You've only got to look at past events, okay, and you will actually see that.
Okay.
And then when you look at the last
PCP
police
farmer.
station, the last police station that actually got hit by a
PCP
bomb.
farmer.
From the start, the police questioned the filming as disturbing and linked to terrorism. But the people argued rationally, I don't need a reason to film. This is a public place. And he wasn't being sentimental. He cited historical facts and past events. This was no longer a conversation. It was a lesson in basic rights.
Okay, was in
I got
1972.
stabbed by a terrorist. How about that?
Okay, yeah, that was a stabbing.
Yeah, that's a terrorist act.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So then, if that's the case, then should we then talk about a certain officer that killed a young woman when he was
wasn't
in
a terrorist
uniform?
act.
No, but that was a member of the
correct?
police. That was a member of the police. Okay, that actually killed a member of the public.
Right.
Okay.
So what's the point of that and terrorist?
Because it's my right. Okay.
I'm not saying it's
to
not your
film,
right, but I'm asking
okay,
why you're filming.
Because I can.
Yeah, but for what reason? So you've
My
come out here
own
today-
reason. My
you've
own
come out
reason.
here today,
I don't need to explain to you why I want to film.
But we're asking you why. I mean, we've got powers under the Terrorist Act.
What,
to
section
search
43?
To search you.
And
to
if
search
you
your
use
phone.
section 43, okay, it will be unlawful for one.
For why?
Okay,
Why is
because
that?
it's my lawful right.
Right.
And if you actually read the actual memo that got sent by the IOPCC, back in 2020, right, it will actually state that people can actually film a police station,
Yeah.
okay, police staff, police vehicles, okay, and section 43 should not be used, okay, in that actual
hostile
event.
reconnaissance? What about that?
Okay.
What if we see you filming outside a police station?
Okay. Well
and
then,
it could be viewed as
let me put
hostile
it to you this way.
reconnaissance?
I'll put it very bluntly. Okay. If you believe, okay, that it is, okay, then if you contact the counter-terrorism
Well, we
squad.
haven't got time for that.
Well, no.
Terrorists,
If you
we haven't
believe
got
that,
time
if
for
you,
that.
well, I'm just standing here.
Right.
Okay. If
What
you
do you think
believe,
terrorists does?
that, okay, then you contact them.
Well, no.
Okay. But
so
also
I'm
as well,
looking
what are
back
your
on
reasonable grounds? What
Right,
are your
so you're
reasonable
outside,
grounds?
So you've waited for a van to come out. How do I know you're not going to run in when you're filming?
When the police mentioned their rights under the Terrorism Act, Section 43, the resident immediately responded, "If you use that to stop me filming, that's an abuse of power." He cited the 2020 IOPCC guidelines, which allow members of the public to film police in public premises.
A police station. What for? It could be for the exits.
Well, this is
It
a
could be
public
for the
footpath.
entrances.
This is a public
But you went-
footpath.
That's not public.
It makes no difference. I
That's
can film.
private.
I can film.
Yeah, so we've come out.
It,
We're asking
hang on, you
why.
say that that's private, okay? That is owned by the public.
But it's
Okay.
private. You need a pass to get in.
Who's going
It's
in?
not- it's
I'm
not
not getting in.
public ground.
I'm not getting in.
So I've asked you.
You made a presumption
why are you-
that I may
why-
go in.
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay, you
We
made a
can't-
presumption.
We can't take that chance because
Yeah, I know.
apparently terrorists don't attack us. They do. I
Okay.
just gave an example, haven't I? A few
Yeah,
years ago.
and then should we then talk about actual people then that get abused by the police on a daily basis?
Is that what you're filming for?
Okay.
Are you seeing if police are abusing people within the custody?
Well, yeah, you tried to say about using section 43, okay, and that would have been an abuse of power.
Well, it's not an abuse of
You
power.
use
You're
you said the
filming
terrorism
a
act,
police
yeah,
building,
which is a completely
which
lawful
could be
activity.
seen as
It's a
hostile
completely
reconnaissance.
lawful activity.
Right. But it
It's a
could be
lawful
seen-
activity.
You're not letting me speak at all,
It
are you,
makes no
sir?
difference.
Well,
Good afternoon.
Hello, have you spoken to one of our colleagues earlier?
I've spoken to several of your colleagues.
At the police station, yeah?
Yeah.
That is in out here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Could you identify yourself for
Yes,
me, please?
PC McKenna, 1263 November.
Thank you very much.
why do you get so anti when police come and speak to you?
I'm not
it's-
anti.
Surely it's a good thing. that-
No, I've had
that we're being protected
several
with our buildings.
good interactions here today.
Right.
Okay, with 3 other officers. I've had
Okay.
some really nice interactions with them.
Okay. So you're
Right,
saying this isn't
and
a
not
nice
one,
interaction.
not one of them even attempted to bring up to do with terrorists.
Well, the first thing
not
I see
one of
when
them.
people come outside a police building and start filming, that's the first thing I see. That's what I think.
The police thought he was about to storm the police station, but he never did. He just stood there, camera in hand. It became clear. It wasn't the people who were agitating, it was the police who were acting on emotion, not evidence.
Well, then you need to actually rethink your actual mindset, okay?
I don't think so.
Well, yes, you do, okay? And when you see a member of the public, whether or not they're filming or not, okay, maybe if you actually approach and said, "Can I help you?" Okay, like you did when you stuck your head out the
Yeah, I
van,
did.
okay? But then it should be, okay, is there anything else I can do for you? Whatever, okay? I should be allowed to carry on and do what I'm lawfully allowed to
I've
do,
allowed you to. You've been filming me for ages.
okay?
So I've allowed you to.
Okay? Well, it's not about you allowing me to.
You just told me to allow you to.
It's not about you allowing me to. It's something that I'm rightfully within my rights to do so.
Right, okay. You've just told me to allow you to. I have for about 10 minutes now. So
What's
Okay.
what's your first name?
I won't give my name.
Okay. What are you auditing? Just out of interest.
Pardon?
You're auditing, right?
I am,
What
correct.
Are you auditing?
A public building. Okay, and a public service.
What is it? Just the amount of police officers that come out, or the vehicles? Or
No, just whatever I can see. Just whatever I can see. Whether or not a vehicle comes out, okay, an officer comes out, makes no difference. I'll film whatever I can
Is
see.
it just police stations you do, or do you go into any other?
Any
public building?
public service.
So like a library? Would you go to
Okay,
a library?
yep.
Fire brigade?
Yep.
Okay. Just I'm literally just
Yeah, no,
having
it's,
scoping. Just
it's anything that the
finding out.
public. It's anything that the public pay for.
And what
okay,
do you do
that's a
with
public
that
service.
information?
It all depends. It all depends.
On what you see?
Yeah, I use it for my own personal interest.
Okay. And how many hours do you put in a week, would you say?
That's
doing that?
irrelevant to how many hours I put in.
Oh, do you enjoy it?
I do enjoy it.
When asked, "What are you auditing?" the cameraman still answered politely, "Anything I can see." He was very clear. "I film libraries, police stations, public vehicles, as long as people pay taxes for it. No evasion, no challenge, but a clear affirmation of the right to monitor the government."
Yeah. So because at the moment, and especially with the Met, and then even then, if you look at homicide police, okay, there is a massive divide between the public and the police. There is a massive divide. Okay, and that divide is something that needs to be closed, because we need a police force without any shadow of doubt. It's very important that we have one.
Yeah, it's a good relationship.
Okay.
That's why initially PCSOs were introduced.
Yeah, but then now there's loads of mixed views to do with that. Okay, whether or not that was the actual right thing, or was it actually about actually trying to get trained officers in?
They are trained officers.
Well, no,
they're civil, weren't they? But
yeah, okay. They're not in the same level as you guys as constables. No. They're not in the same level.
They don't have the same powers.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it's not that
okay.
They've got their own job. It's not the same level. It's just that they don't.
Yeah, they've been put in as a replacement, okay, to what used to be the whole old home beat officers. Okay, where they go out onto different estates. Okay, and try and engage.
You've got safer neighbourhoods, haven't you?
Yeah.
So then you've got the PCSOs that attach to the safer neighbourhoods. The majority of them, not all of them, obviously, and they're trying to bridge that gap. So is that what you're trying to look into then?
Well, yeah, it's to see how the police actually feel, okay, to do with it, and that's why I said I've had some good interactions where an officer came out to me. He turned around and went, "You're all in." I went, "Yes."
Do you understand why we come up and question you?
Yeah,
but
but
a lot of people that, as you've already said.
The cameraman said bluntly, "We need the police, but we need good relations with them." And the sad thing is, people are willing to talk, and some police are not. Suspicious, threatening attitudes will only push people away and create more divisions.
There's a lot of people that really don't like us.
Yeah, I welcome any interaction. But as soon as try and say about the terrorist act, okay, and all the rest of it, okay, then that is when, okay, it won't go down the same line as what a normal civil conversation would have been.
That's what we try to notice, and that's what it is linked with, because people gathering information from police buildings, and then they use that information and unfortunately become quite destructive.
Well, any place really. It could be a tube station, train station.
Yeah, well, just remember, everything that I'm filming now, okay, can also be seen on Google Earth.
Right.
Okay, the only difference is the actual interaction, okay, between myself and officers, because I can see the whole police station and everything from Google Earth.
But
okay,
you be able to see how many people come in and out, what times the people come in and out.
I'm curious. Just to,
I don't care how many officers go in and out. I don't care what times they go in and out. Okay. I'm not here for that.
But when I came out, straight away I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And you didn't want to tell me. But if you just said, "I do an audit, I do it on all public buildings," then it would have been...
But I don't have to justify what I'm doing.
But I'm asking you a question. Just
yes.
If we walked past in the street and you wanted to ask me a question,
yeah,
I'd answer it.
And I said, what did I turn around and say to you what I was doing?
A purpose.
Okay.
That's it.
For my own interest.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. No, you didn't say your own interest. You said a purpose.
Yeah, my own purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at it, my own purpose is my own business.
Right.
Okay. And if I don't wish to tell you what that business is, I do not have to tell you what that business is.
Okay, but when you're videoing places like this, you can't get all angsty when people come and ask you.
So then,
it's our job to come and ask and
so then do you go up to everybody then that's filming Buckingham Palace, okay, and 10 Downing Street, and stop them all?
That's not my job to do that.
Do you go round to every single place, like even then when you look at the Olympic Park, okay, that's not far from here, even then when you look at that, okay, do you walk up to everyone that's got
a great argument? He points out that all the images of the police station are available on Google Earth. He doesn't track, he doesn't time officers, he audits interactions. The problem isn't the images, it's the attitude.
Camera.
It's not my job
again, okay. Do you walk up to everyone who you can see with a phone?
This is just a normal police station, isn't it?
Yep, and this is just, and I'm just a normal member of the public with a phone.
The first thought is, well, why is he filming? And that's what's come last year.
Okay. So, and that's why I said to you that instead of actually doing it exactly as you've done, okay, and you've been very polite and very professional, and I will say that, and that's how a conversation should be fully conducted, exactly how it was with the other officers that I spoke to previously.
So what's your plan for the rest of the day? You're going to carry on monitoring?
I have no idea yet. I have no idea. I just take it stage by stage.
I only know because I've spoken to the officers that stopped you earlier. If you continue to film probably more officers are going to ask you what you're doing.
And that's fine. That's fine. And I welcome any interaction.
Well, you didn't really welcome mine, but no worries.
Well, maybe you should look at the way that you actually approach first.
But you said I was fine in the van.
Okay, yeah, and it was when you got out, your tone changed.
Right.
Okay.
You said it was when I mentioned the Terrorism Act,
Okay.
which was a good 10 minutes
Yeah.
into the conversation.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The camera footage will actually show that. Also, as well, you didn't have that on straight away.
Well, it
Okay.
starts recording before I
Okay.
turn it on.
And just make sure, okay, that does actually get kept, because I will be requesting a copy of that.
For a policing purpose, it can get kept. So I have
Okay.
to justify why I've kept.
No,
Yes, I do.
once I put in a request, okay, I had 30 days before it is actually deleted.
Correct.
Okay,
So if you
and it's in that
requested, I'll
time.
give it you.
Okay, and it's in that time that I will request a copy of it.
Okay, that's
And that's
fine.
why I said, okay,
But
please
other
make
than
sure.
a policing purpose, we can't save our body.
Okay.
It has to be for a policing purpose.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
And this is a policing purpose.
What's the purpose?
Okay, because we're having an interaction. Okay, and if you actually look, or even on the Metzone website, okay,
We don't record every interaction.
I know you don't, but you are recording this interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why I said I will request a copy of
No
it.
problem. But like I said, I can't save it unless it's for a policeman.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
With staff there.
Alright?
Or
Yep, no
you
worries.
can call up 101, which I write on here, and you can say, I would like to make a complaint about police. Okay?
The police came back and accused him of not being open, but he immediately pointed out the change in attitude when the camera was turned on. He finally asked for the transcript because he knew the rules. I have 30 days to request that data, and I will. Not loudly, not agitated, but extremely determined.
Do you want to just find the files? And they will be able to make a complaint for you on the phone. They'll be able to sort it out. Okay, and someone will contact you.
You are talking about on the telephone? Or
Yeah. So if you call up on your phone 101 and just say, I'd like to make a complaint to the police.
So a
in regards
question,
to this
what are you
matter,
auditing now by just filming me
and then
listening to
this
these?
police station has your
I'm not
rights
listening
to
to him.
No,
police station.
me listening to them. I am.
Okay?
So I'm asking, like, what's the purpose of
Because
you
there's no
filming me
actual
just to...
like working front office
Just
here.
curious,
So
like,
make
I'm just
complaints.
curious why.
The complaints
Because
go on the phone,
you're
telephone number, which is
an officer on duty, okay, looking very unprofessional with your hands tucked in your actual body warmer.
Yeah?
Okay.
We're not allowed to put our hands in our pockets.
Yeah, I know. Well, that looks even worse.
But we're
That
not
looks
allowed-
even worse.
That's fine. But we're allowed to do
Okay.
this. We're
Yeah, I
not allowed
know,
to
but
put our hands
it
in our
looks a lot
pockets.
worse. Trust me, it looks a lot worse.
Okay, that's fine, but we've got rules. I'm not allowed to put my hands in my pockets.
Okay.
They're a lot more accessible from here compared to down here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of rules that are there. Okay, i.e. to do with the way that you also identify as well. Okay, it's like where you first actually just sort of dipped your shoulder and then pointed at your actual
But
number.
if you listen to the thing, I say that's my number 1171N8, and then you say, can you actually say it?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. You did not say your number.
I did.
Okay,
You can
no,
watch
you did
back.
not.
That's
I
fine.
actually asked for your number.
But I'd already said it once.
No, you hadn't.
Okay, we can watch that back later, no worries. I mean, you've got it all on camera, so I wouldn't lie, would I? I said it, that's my number, 1171N8. And you said, can you say it so people can't make it? Fair
Yeah.
enough. But I'd already said it.
If you had said it, I would have heard it.
Alright, that's no problem. So the reason you're recording me is because I've got my hands in my neck vest. That's correct, yeah?
Well, I'm standing in public.
No, I'm just asking
I'm
what...
From the way the police kept their hands in their pockets to not saying their badge numbers clearly, it was all picked up by the public. This wasn't a fun video. It was a test of professionalism. And Miss WPC 1171 failed that test.
Filming in public.
purpose of filming me just stood. That's all.
Well, you're still here with me, okay? So I'm still filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good day. Take care. Well, the ones that actually had the tattoos was all right, but the other one just there, that one there, nearest to me, what a moody cow she was. So she really didn't like that. So, and that is the state of affairs to do with the police. That is the state of affairs, and that's what we put up with. So, peeps, I think I'm now towards the end of this one.
People don't need to be aggressive to exercise power. They just need to understand the law. And when they encounter someone who understands the law, many police officers realize that they can't do whatever they want. So what do you think? Who is right and who is wrong in this confrontation? Leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because only when power is monitored can it not be abused.